Then I'll let you know. Okay, you can start. All right. So the call to order meeting of the Parks and Rec Advisory Board. Today is the December the 5th, 2024. If 2:05. November. First item on the agenda is citizens' comments and reports.
Well, there's no citizens here, but I would like to take this item to introduce Amanda
Oh,
Parsons.
absolutely.
our
I'm
new board
sorry.
member. We should have had an agenda item for you. I'm sorry, but we'll squeeze you into this one. So this is your first time serving on the Parks Board. Do you want to say a little bit about what made you decide to volunteer with us?
Sure. So hi, I'm Amanda Parsons. I am not related to David, so just to clear that up right away. But I have lived here for about a decade, but have owned property here for about 15 years, been coming here since I relocated to Texas. Love the area and found myself in a place where I've got some free time and thought, what better thing to do but then get involved. And this is the place that I felt most passionate, where maybe I could be of help. So I'm really excited to be here and hear what you guys think I can do and what I can offer. Looking forward to it.
And thanks for joining us. Are you, is there any special interest that's not the right terminology, but do you have a special interest in parks for any certain reason? Nature lover?
Yes.
Pickleball? I don't know
Yes.
what you're doing out
Well,
there. but-
pickleball sounds amazing, but no, I'm very outdoorsy. Like if I'm not working or I'm not with the family, then you'll find me outdoors. We're fishing all the time. I love hiking. I love nature. So when I'm not busy with something else, being outdoors, and that's one of the reasons why this one of all the different boards sounded very appealing. And this area has grown a lot. And I know we've been trying to keep up and find better ways to improve. And I think people that come here come for the outdoors. They don't come for sitting inside a hotel room or something like that. And so I felt like, again, making a big difference for us, the community, but also for the tourism would be a value add.
That's great. Glad to have you.
Yeah, where was home before here?
I lived in Kyle, Texas, right outside of Austin. I've been in Texas for almost 30 years, but I'm originally from the East Coast. So I've actually been in Texas longer than not. So
Yeah,
Where on the East Coast?
Maryland, DC, Virginia.
I'm from Connecticut.
Oh, you're real.
My name's
East Coast.
Amanda too.
I love
But I go by
it.
Mandy.
I love it.
all right, thanks. So department director report.
Yeah, I apologize. I tried to email this to you. If you couldn't open the attachment, neither could I. So I didn't realize it until today. But I printed it out for you. I've tried to kind of keep this in the same format and just update it each time. So to start off with our capital projects going on, all vehicles have been acquired for all departments except for a program van. We're trying to get a second van for our youth programs, and they are harder to source than I was expecting. So we're still waiting on that van. We've been using the enterprise fleet management system now. Instead of purchasing vehicles, we're leasing them through enterprise, and it seems to be working really well in all other areas other than this van. But so good so far. Recreation center, I provided you the latest renderings in a printout and in your email. So it has the bird's eye view of what the footprint of the building will look like. I think we're at 32,000 square feet. And then there's a breakdown that you probably need a magnifying glass to look at. On the computer. You can zoom in, so it's much easier to look at, but we've got gym going from kind of the top of the drawing down: gymnasium, group exercise room with storage and mechanical areas. The administrative suite, in that tan color, that layout has changed as of this morning. The shared offices were kind of opened up into shared workspace that can accommodate one extra person. So room for growth. Right now, I have 2 open seats for room for growth in the nature preserve and in our community programs department. This would allow for 1 more seat and so possibly like an athletics director type position or something like that. And then they added a break room. And so I asked them to merge the break room and the workspace, because one of the things we need the most is when we're hosting really big programs like the winter holidays or trunk or treat. We need a lot of prep space to prep goodie bags or games, or we just need big open space, counter space, table space. And so they're going to reconfigure that 1 more time, but I think we're getting really close to a final layout. As you move down, you hit the lobby area, and that's all open across from the fitness area. So that's your treadmills and weight machines and cardio equipment, free weights, things in that area. The back wall of that is all glass. So you can see right when you walk in, you can see all the way through to the pool. So it's supposed to be lots of natural light, nice open space. The locker room is just south of that. There's a child watch area, and we're calling it a teen game room, but it really could be for any age game room, where there'll be like card tables, air hockey table, things like that. The child watch is intended to be when the parent is on site. So mom wants to go work out, she can drop her kid at the child watch area and then go do her workout for up to 2 hours. I think the child watch, based on state licensing, we can do parent on-premise care with a 2-hour time limit. Moving down, the lifeguards are positioned in the middle of the building with views of the pool. Manager's office is there for the pool. The pink space is multi-purpose, and so it has wall dividers. You can break that space into 3 separate rooms. That's the hub of where youth programming will take place, after school care, summer programming. Across from that in the gray is an outdoor patio space, outdoor classroom type space that'll have a gated area. It'll be where a bus lane is. So after school care, they can get dropped off right there and they don't have to walk through the lobby or buy the exercise equipment or anything like that. But this will kind of be its own youth wing. There will actually be either a gate or fire doors in the hallway that close off this wing from the rest of the building. So if youth programming is going on, they're secure from the public. And that's why the restrooms are on that side as well, so that you can send kids to the restroom without a chaperone. It'll allow us to kind of keep those kids separate from everything else when we want to do that.
But so they would just have the restrooms to themselves?
Yeah, and then the public would use the locker room restrooms.
Okay.
Yeah. The gymnasium, I kind of breezed over that darker outline around the edge is a walking track. It's the 2nd story. And it doesn't fit in our current budget to go 2nd story. So it's going to be an added alternate. City council will get to decide whether they want to put that in the building or not. Obviously, I'd like to see it there. I think it would be used by a lot of folks. But it'll be up to council to say yay or nay in the ultimate budget.
What's the budget? Is there a budget line item for that?
So the tax anticipation note is 15 million. And we can bridge the gap if it's over that with hot tax. Because the nature preserve is going to be housed in here. But I don't think we want to go too much over the 15. So that's all still being finalized as we pick finishes and they finalize fixture counts and things like that. Any questions on the interior space layout? If you have any ideas or suggestions or things you know, that are standing out to you, now's the time to let me know, not necessarily at the meeting. You can, email me or come by the office if you think of something later. But, we're trying to move quickly through this phase so that, we can hopefully go out to bid early next year. And so the more changes and tweaks we have later in the process, the slower things go, so.
Does that, if you get rid of the walking track, does that lower the ceiling height in that building?
Yeah, probably. It'll still be it'll be a
Right.
NCAA size ceiling. There's a restriction to how low it can be for basketball and volleyball.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know exactly. I have in my notes somewhere the heights of all the requirements, but not off the top of my head.
And you said a portion of that outdoor patio would be fenced, but not all of it.
This whole thing will be enclosed.
Oh, well,
With the
the
gate,
whole
yeah.
thing, okay.
Yeah, because there will be a driveway around it, so we would want to keep it safe. There will be a gate that opens up when the kids are going in and out, but it'll be protected.
What about sailboat storage?
We'll probably get a Connex box. So at the same time that this is being worked on, we are also planning on an improved maintenance facility. I don't know if it shows it in any of these renderings, but there's a little shed collection out at the baseball field. There's
Right.
2 garages, a Connex box, a fenced-in yard. It's a little bit piecemealed out there, and so that'll all go away, and one nice maintenance building will go in its place. And so that will include some storage, but for things that we don't use, like holiday decorations and stuff, they'll probably still be in Connex boxes somewhere.
And that will be, they haven't decided, they've already decided the construction of that maintenance building.
It hasn't, it's been, David Parsons has kind of laid it out and talked with, head of grounds crew and myself. But it hasn't been to the architect yet. It'll get sent to the architect hopefully within the next few months. All right, so that was a long second item on my director's report, but it's a big important one. If you, like I said, if you have any feedback, please let me know. I'm gonna kind of cruise through. I'm not gonna read item by item here. I'm just gonna do the ones that stick out. If there's anything I skipped that you want to hear about, let me know. I already talked about RDC number 2, that maintenance facility. That's what I was referring to. The playground at Roberts Point Park is well underway. They're doing the groundwork right now. So they laid the drainage and the water line. That's been filled in, and they're working on like the base gravel layer, and then the initial levels of the limestone block. If you haven't been out to the park, there's piles of giant block out there, like we're building the pyramids. And so they've started the first 2 layers of that. There's some footings for underneath the lighthouse. I apologize, I don't have a rendering for you. I don't know if you've seen it, but we're doing it's kind of like a big swirl. It's supposed to resemble a nautilus shell, and it goes uphill, and then at the top of the hill, it's a 10-foot hill, and there's a 25-foot lighthouse that sits on top of it. So the footers, I saw those go in. There's been some palm trees that were relocated. They went into shock, and I was worried they weren't going to make it, but there are green shoots coming out of the top of them. So
Okay,
I think there's signs of life. Hopefully they'll be okay. There is an Adopt a Tree program that we've started. If you haven't heard about it, you can sponsor a palm tree, one of 14 palm trees in the plan. With a placard, you can put your business or your family name, or you can put it in memoriam of someone, and there's a spot for a photo or a logo as well. And it's $3,000 to sponsor the tree. That covers the cost of the tree, the care for the tree, the plaque, and then replacement if we needed to replace the tree for some reason. So we've gotten, I think there's 6 or 7 trees that have already been spoken for, so it's doing okay. They didn't fly off the shelves, but I think
Yeah.
we have some time left, and so hopefully folks will continue to contribute to that program. Safety netting at the baseball fields is up. I don't know if you've seen it, but the Shanklin's helped us put that up. And I think it looks pretty sharp. It's gonna keep kids on the playground safe. The shade for the dog park has been started. It's not over there yet, but Mark Creighton is building it in his driveway. Holiday decor has started to go up. You'll see this building, our office, the roof lines already have lights on them. Palm trees at Roberts Point Park have started to be wrapped. There's so much that needs to be done that they start pretty early. We won't turn them on till Thanksgiving or after, but our tree lighting ceremony is December 7th, so everything will be up and on by then. Old Town Square is coming along. We have a pavilion out there. We have 2 shade structures. We have a parking lot. We have sidewalks. We have a concrete boardwalk. There's 6 big oak trees out there. So it's coming along. We're in the final stretch. We were hoping to be done by end of October. We got a little bit delayed with the reclaimed lumber that we're using. It needed to be milled. The engineers spec'd the wood to be 1 inch and the boards that we were getting were 2 inch. And so they had to send them to be milled. They should be back this week on site so they can start to go up on the structures. The shingles have started to go up out there. They're waiting on lights, like street lights for the parking area. Those haven't arrived yet, but everything else is moving along. We're at the final stretch here. It should really start to take shape in the next couple
And
weeks.
are the lights gonna be where they're just facing downward?
They better be. They need to be dark sky
'Cause-
compliant. Yeah.
Yeah, because there's so much, lighting around town that's not, even close to compliant with dark sky.
Yeah. These ones we picked out as dark sky compliant.
I was asked if it's gonna be fully fenced in.
Mm-mm.
No.
No fencing. That's why we did, there's like mounds in the landscaping and it was to kind of create a barrier. So kids aren't, chasing a ball out into traffic or anything like that. It's to try and kind of divide it without having to fence it.
I noticed that the elevation of those things keeps going down and down. Are they gonna bring
In
it
my
back up?
head, I thought that they were gonna be taller. I think that the vegetation is gonna create a bigger division. But yeah, they're shorter than I had in my head.
Yeah,
But the
well,
engineers are out there truthing everything, so I think they're to spec. But they started out very tall piles of
and
it.
they did. I kept
They've
watching them
been-
getting shorter and shorter and
I
shorter.
know, yeah. I feel the same way. But there's some nice touches out there, like the parking lot is stamped concrete, so it kind of looks like stone, and then we moved from a wooden boardwalk to a concrete concrete sidewalk stamped to look like a boardwalk, and just some nice details out there that are a little nicer than your average parking lot. And
The shade structures are nice too.
they're pretty hardy, right?
Yeah.
They look legit. Yeah. There's a nice cupola at the top of the pavilion, and we're actually probably gonna request a change order. I had noticed they're not enclosing the rafters. Like when you go in and look at the ceiling, you can see all the way to the roof. And I think we're gonna have an issue with birds. And so I'm gonna ask that they enclose them with hardy plank ceiling or something, because otherwise the barn swallows and mud daubers and pigeons are gonna find them.
Yep.
Where am I? Holiday decor, Old Town Square, surf rescue, that is still in the works. Oh, my numbering got weird there, sorry. The architectural drawings. I'm trying to remember. I think we just have preliminary architectural drawings on that, but we're waiting because it's so tricky over there on 9th Street where they had to elevate for the fire station,
Right.
and they have EMS and Public Works and the old water district building. It's just a tricky dance on what construction can start with staging areas and things like that. So they're waiting till the fire station's a little bit more complete before they start on surf rescue. incredible milestone at the nature preserve. By the end of this month, we are going to have all of our trails that were damaged by Hurricane Harvey repaired. So that is gonna be a really good feeling, that final walkthrough of the North Trail. We'll do a little dance afterwards because wow, what a long journey it has been in our recovery process. So we can't say it for the whole city yet. We're still, building back police and fire and EMS, but we are getting close. You can see the light at the end of the tunnel. The Restore project, that is improving the parking at the birding center, expanding our bollard line, protecting the nature preserve from vehicles. They are just waiting on the Restore Grant Board to finalize the contract and should be good to go. They've already awarded the work to Island Construction, so as soon as the Restore Grant folks give the green light, that'll get started. The 33-acre preserve, they still have not opened that boater access grant. We actually talked, there was someone from Texas Parks and Wildlife at the Paradise Pond ribbon cutting, so we had a good chance to talk about the local parks grant and the boating access grant. So hopefully we can just keep working on that. There's not really any crazy updates yet.
Do we know where the holdup is?
This- We have a new park host that should be arriving this month, Karen. She has been a park host in Galveston and has some great experience, seems very enthusiastic about leading programs and things like that. So I'm excited to meet her and glad that she's coming to help us out. So this is a fairly new program we started. We pay for an RV spot at Fort ARV, which is right by the South Trail entrance. And they, in exchange for their spot, patrol the trails and do some light, maintenance tasks and things. And it helps us when we don't have staff on weekends and things like that, or after hours. Helps keep an eye on the trails. Okay. Harbor construction is complete. That's not really my project, but it's right up next to our park, so it's beautiful and it's
It really is nice.
Yeah, very nice.
the small pavilion is within the Playscapes construction area, so that's not currently available. The ball fields, we've got closed for maintenance, soil conditioning, grinding the lips on the outfield, that type of thing is happening up until high school starts in January. Rec center, I gave you an update on that already. The skate park, so we have funding, we budgeted for improving skate amenities. And so I had two requests from the community. One was for a pump track. That if you're not familiar, it can be made out of any material. It could just be dirt if you wanted to, but it's kind of like a BMX style track where there's hills and there's banks and a lot of communities are putting them in. They can be modular where you buy them and they fabricate them off site and they just come and install them, or you can have them like made into the, your topography of your park. And then the other request was for more beginner level skate features. And we could use the concrete pad that's out by the pickleball courts. That's originally what was on that pad with some half pipes and things like that. So I am not super familiar with the skate culture or the community of folks who are out there using the amenities. And so I thought about maybe putting together a group of people that would help me make some decisions on spending that funding and figuring out what exactly we wanted. So I, of course, can call the board house, and I mean, there's folks in town that I know that are skaters. But if you know anybody that you think would be interested in working on something like that. I'm looking to get like a little stakeholder volunteer group together, I think, to get that going. I have a sales guy who's calling me on a regular basis, wanting to know what we want, and I don't know what we want yet, so I need to talk to the community a little bit more and figure that out. What exactly are we putting in there for the money that we have?
There are a lot, I noticed a lot of families with small kids on their scooters and stuff like that.
Mhm.
It would be nice to have more of an area separated from
The big stuff.
the big stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, like, I don't know if it's the right term to call it a kiddie park, but something like
Right.
that, like the junior level. All right, the new swing set will be in the empty circle next to the existing playground at the community park. That's gonna come at the same time that the equipment for Roberts Point comes. So it's all part of the same install job.
Okay.
It'll be a 4-bay swing, 2 standard traditional swings and 1 bucket and 1 ADA friendly swing. The pool. We are looking at a lot of pool improvements. Some of them we're doing immediately because there's safety or compliance updates that need to happen. Like our UV filtration system, those used to be highly recommended and now are mandatory, and so it's an extra step in your filtering process, and it's for Cryptosporidium. It's the amoeba that has caused fatalities at splash parks and things like that. When you have water that's being sprayed, you can inhale it, and if there's Cryptosporidium in it, it can be deadly. So those UV filters are supposed to take care of that. So we're gonna be installing those, a chairlift. We have to move the rails on our stairs. They're a little bit too far apart. We are planning to totally renovate the slides, replace all the hardware that's out there, the padding that's out there, basically
It's a
make them
rebuild.
new again. Yeah. And when we do that, we're gonna probably take the blue slide off until the rec center is built, because the blue slide sits out further than our concrete deck. It actually sits on a wooden deck that's gonna have to go away as part of the rec center job. And so temporarily we'll leave the red slide functioning, or we'll refurbish it and leave it operational. And the blue slide will go away until the concrete is put in for the rec center, and then the blue slide will come back. Little dance with the slides. Bucket dump is repaired. The mushroom should be going to be renovated soon. Piers, nothing really new to report there. I think it's the same as it was last report. Nature Preserve got a big recognition. They were accepted into the acronym is WIZARD. It sounds like wizard, and they have a council, so they were officially recognized by the Wizard Council, which just screams Harry Potter to me.
Yeah.
But they were recognized as an important shorebird nesting for the whole Western Hemisphere. So there's like 4 different species out there that over 1% of the population of that bird species spends time in Charlie's pasture. So it's a pretty big recognition.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know anything else that we've been recognized for on a whole hemispheric level. So I'm pretty proud of them. They had a great tree giveaway. It was the first year that every single tree went. We had no leftover trees. It was nice because we didn't have to move them. But that means word is spread and everyone keeps coming back for good native trees. So we're happy to see that. We celebrated opening Paradise Pond, so the expansion of the pond, the trail that connects to the community park, and the boardwalk extension over the pond. We celebrated that. It was a nice event where a lot of folks came out that had involvement in the site for, you know, decades, and we all got to come out and see each other. So it was kind of a nice little recognition ceremony. Yeah. Park Post I already went into, Salt Island repairs, covered that. Restore grant, I covered that. I'm kind of just duplicating those capital projects and this a little bit.
How's the pepper tree treatment going? Is it, I see,
They're knocking them out regularly. I think we haven't done I've been wanting to do an inventory where we can look at where we were previously compared to where we are now. Sometimes Google Earth is a really good way to do that. If the imagery is updated, you can see a big difference, but I think we've figured out the multiple management strategies is the way to go. Like if you're gonna burn, you have to retreat. You have to just continually, you know, shred and then treat with herbicide. It's always got to be like a two-prong approach, and it's been good. And then Public Works just did us a big favor. They mowed down all the pepper trees that were growing between Welland Park and Island Construction's property on 361. They were just doing highway maintenance, but got a bunch of pepper trees in the process. Anything else there? We had applied for some funding from the GLO for that bulkhead park that Tom was talking about earlier, and it was not awarded, so I think where was that funding gonna come from? I think council is discussing alternative funding sources for that.
I've never heard of this hot tax certificate of obligation.
Oh, that's what it is, yeah, they
I mean, I
talked
know what
about
hot
it
tax
during
is
the
and-
last council meeting. They had a specialist come in and advise them that it was applicable to it. But that's all I know. We can ask Darla if we need more details. Surf Rescue, their season has ended. We've got 4 full-time head guards that are going to continue to patrol the beach through the off-season Thursdays through Sundays. They had a great season. They went to nationals in South Padre Island and competed. They hosted regionals here and won regionals. Their team has really been professional and grown leaps and bounds. Their equipment and their fleet is looking great. Just they're kind of finding their stride. We've been in a real, upward growth curve over the last few years, and I feel like this year went smoother than we've ever had. We have good leadership and good camaraderie amongst team members. Like they came out and helped with the sand pumpkin patch, and the whole time everybody's positive and chatting together, and there's just, with oftentimes with Surf Rescue, there can be a lot of drama. And this was a drama-free season, so it was really nice. I think they have a great team. They've found their groove, and I'm really happy to see it. Youth programs going strong. They've got 70 enrolled in after-school care. They started, Christy, our community program coordinator, started a pollinator educational program with after-school care. She's been contributing there, and so that's been fun to see. They've got clubs starting up. So Liz, the site coordinator, is doing fishing club and games club, pickleball club. So they're trying to keep them engaged and wanting to come to after-school care with different activities and clubs. 15 employees, 13 part-time, 2 full-time, so they're fully staffed. They're gonna sing songs at the Christmas tree lighting event in December. And they're gonna do some crafts and things for senior centers and food pantry and Meals on Wheels, stuff like that, just holiday giving. And then community programs, we've attached the program guide to the end of this report. tons of stuff going on, winter Texan activities, holiday activities, our regular activities. If you can't find something to do with Parks and Rec, come talk to me, because I don't know what else to do. There's a jam-packed schedule of lots of fun things, so. I'm excited for another fun winter season. There's a new farmer's market coming November 10th, at the, large pavilion at the marina. Parks and Rec will have a booth out there, but we're excited to see another attempt at a farmer's market. Seems to be very well organized and have a good list of vendors, so I'm excited to see it. And yeah, that's what's going on in Parks and Rec.
A lot.
It is a lot.
Always.
All right, item number 4 on the agenda is items for consideration. Discuss, take action, or pass on any of the following. Have you all had a chance to look over the minutes of the September meeting? They're on this, attached to this packet.
I did. And I got a question about can you give us an update on the wayfaring sign project that seems to be taking forever and ever?
Yeah, it is.
What side?
So the city and the Chamber of Commerce have partnered on a wayfinding and signage project, and it's to help make more consistent our signage through town. So at city sites, all of our entrance signage and our directional signage is kind of been redesigned so it all matches and it has the consistent wording. And so it's everything from you know, the sign at my office that says Parks and Rec to the signs as you go onto the beach that say the beach conditions and the rules of the beach. And then there's some really big landmark signs, like at Roberts Point Park. It's a giant 24-foot wide sign with an LED screen that will be able to put like Wooden Boat Festival or Whooping Crane Festival, different displays. There will be a big sign out here. And so they did a site visit a few weeks ago to really hash out, like, this is exactly where this sign is going to go. They staked it and they took photos of where all these signs will go. And then we're supposed to have a meeting this week about all the detailed, like rules signs and map signs. So it is progressing. But
They're
it's so,
including,
it's
like-
so much detail. Like, we have a spreadsheet of every sign. It's got 4 different tabs. Some of the tabs have 40 signs on them, and you need the exact wording that's going to be on the sign, like exact location. So it's the reason it's taking so long is because it is so detailed, and we want to make sure it's right. And there's a lot of people involved. But the manufacturers are who we're working with now. So these are the folks that are going to build and install them.
And I hope they're considering putting the symbol for being a member of, of a World War II heritage community on entry signs. Which the
Those
cities,
got pulled from the project. I think those needed to be revisited. And so I have not seen the latest version of what those are going to look like, because there was some negative feedback about the original designs of those city entrance ones. And so I think they pushed pause on those ones.
or just as long as they're included, because we should be proud of it, and there should be certain areas, like if there's gonna be a sign for like the gun mounts, and I hear there's talk about Nueces County is talking about a memorial, a veterans memorial there.
Hmm.
So, and those things should be included in the sign work where people can find how to get to those things.
Yeah.
And there's only one city usually in every state that ever gets awarded that World War II heritage community. And usually it's just a city, but since Kingsville and Port Aransas were so tied into the war effort, it was considered an area. It's worded a little differently on this award. But we should be proud of it, and it should be in our signage. And and let the veterans know that where there's an extra special reason to visit our community.
Yeah, it's, there's a, um, there's a balance that has to be made between how much you put on the signage though too, because you could argue, well, we got designated as a bird city and we were an inaugural Texas bird city. We just got this wizard designation. We're on the Texas, birding trail. There's all these designations. And so at some point, you have to put them maybe where they're most applicable. So maybe that recognition gets put at signage that's near the gun mounts or there's,
Yeah, and
A lot.
that sounds right. Although I think
if
the
you-
Bardia City should be still on the entry.
and well, and we're a scenic city also. So there's, at some point it becomes a lot to put in to the signage.
What are
But
the gun mounts?
There, see that?
I didn't even know about this
Right.
at all.
They're directly across from UT, so as you're going down Cotter to the beach,
Uh-huh,
and you worm in and around that neighborhood,
right.
you come out and that's all the new UT construction. and The utility buildings for UT, and then you curve to the left, when you curve back to the right, there's a pullover spot with
Right.
4 signs talking about the gun mounts in there. One is right there on the side of the road. And then you have to walk a ridge to the furthest one, which is the cooler one too, because it still has the steel ring that the tail of the gun rotated on.
Thank you.
I'll bring it up at our next meeting and figure out. Is there a logo or
There's a logo.
do you have it? Can you email it to me?
I will get it and email to you, yes. I'll have to probably call somebody at the county to get it.
There are some county signs involved in the project. The one at the corner of Allister and Beach Street, it's faded purple right now. It says Brent Chesney real big on it. That is one that's gonna get redone in this new branding. And then there's some IB McGee signs that are included in the project as well.
And there's gonna be signs like to the art center and to Friday Boat Works and the museum.
There's directional signs on the streets. So there's 2 different things. There's street directional signs that it's like beach this way.
Yeah.
Then there's wayfinding signs that it's a map that says you are here and then a list of amenities.
I guess
And
I'm
so
talking about streets.
I don't know about the street directionals, but I think on the wayfinding, you are here ones that would say, museum, Old Town Square, community center, all those things. And that's what we're supposed to start hashing out at this next meeting. All right. Where were we? This is not an agenda item.
We were getting ready. to
Future
discuss-
considerations.
Yeah,
Yeah, accepting the minutes.
yeah, and that's how we got to, because I read
I
that in the
gotcha.
minutes.
The only thing I noticed is Tom doesn't have board member in front of his name under members present.
Yeah, saw that.
Well, that's just a typographical correction that can be made.
Okay,
And I also noticed on the website, the city website, that my term years are the old term.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I thought you'd left.
We've had a little of administrative turnover and they just started a new receptionist today, so hopefully admin will be able to catch up a little bit and then they have each department helping more with running of meetings and minute taking and things like that, so. More people helping.
well, do I hear a motion to accept the minutes
Unless we
Cliff.
accept them.
and the second?
I'll second it.
Thomas, second, thank you. All in favor, aye.
Hi.
Those opposed? All right. So items for consideration, this is the second number. No, that's the minutes. Sorry. Back. a few minutes. So any items for future consideration? Other than next meeting time? Nope. Everybody's happy? So, next meeting time would normally be 3 months from today. That would put it December, January, February into March. And the closest coordinated date would be March the 4th.
3 months would be February, right? Not March?
Yeah, you're a month ahead. We're in November.
We just made it to November. I'm not ready for December yet.
That's right, we're in
I was
November.
wondering,
All right. How about February the 4th?
Fine
it's
with
like a
me.
lecture series the day before. Do we know anything about the community center? When they're gonna shut it down, when they're not? Because they were talking about doing it early. And then they stopped talking about doing it.
I
early.
wanted it for the citywide garage sale, February, mid-February, and they said no. So not available in February.
Okay, I gotta find a different location for the last
Do it
week.
outdoors.
Could, but it's so
February.
sketchy, February, yeah.
Two PM is okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Anything else, folks? Motion to adjourn.
I'll make the motion.
Tom made a motion to adjourn. Second,
Second.
Amanda. The original Amanda.
Arnold.
All right.
All right, we don't shut off.
Thank you all.
It's like the quickest meeting ever.
Yeah.
Well, you guys
Went
got,
to the right one.
yeah. Well, they did so much the meeting before, which I missed.
Uh-huh.
You guys were working hard. So quite the minutes.
Yeah.